Today, we want to see what it is about you and your work situation. It is very possible that you are fine, your work situation is all right. And it is very possible that you may know someone who may be in a situation. The situations caused by coronavirus today is so much disturbing that people are stuck and they don't know what to do with themselves. People that have experience in a particular sector and people that don't have so much experience and they are thinking of what to do with themselves. As a result, we want to look to find out what is it that we can do. What can we do? Recently, just before the coronavirus, I met a lady in training. This lady has worked in the area of hospitality, and she was involved with cleaning duties. By the time came, she was let go of her job. So actually, before the coronavirus situation, a number of people have been out of job, but the coronavirus now made it worse. When the lady came in the training feeling disappointed, thinking she has to start all afresh, in the process, we got chatting with the team, brainstorming, and then we used some technology to assess every person that was in the training. This particular lady, by the time we finished the training, she had about 3 different sectors that she could actually invest her skills and experience into. And she was rather happy that she now has other opportunities to explore other sectors, transferring the skills and the experience she has to this new sector she discovered. The reason I'm bringing that is this. People often limit themselves, and I like to use the word narrow-mindedness. If you are so narrow-minded and you streamline yourself to only what you know, situations such as unemployment, losing your job could be so frustrating that you find yourself locked down and you think that outside of the sector where you have been working, you think you could never have any opportunity anywhere else. As a result of that training, this lady discovered other avenues she can explore for a new job opportunity. Another opportunity which was discovered for her is that besides working for employers, she could also explore the chances of she being able to start working for herself, starting with domestic homes. If she were to do some instructions that were given to her on that day, she could literally register a business name and start locally, hoping that domestic local community families would start contracting her within her estates or in the neighboring local communities. The thing is how you think, the information you have, how you make use of it. Again, when we are in situations, sometimes we can be so stranded that we don't know there could be other opportunities. At this point in time, I want to make another reference just to give practical perspective to you and your work situation. Being stressed out, being depressed, despairing. As I speak now, a number of people are on medication, antidepressants, because they are so concerned about lack of job, concerned about monetary issues, concerned about the effect of this experience in their family. So the knock-on effect is affecting people so much so to their personal health and well-being. We can't let this continue. Just that we can't let this continue is that you have to do something about it. You have to do something about it. I give you a practical example. When human beings were created, when God created us, I like making reference to the Bible, in essence, not being religious, but being practical. Because I always say to people, the reason why we experience a lot of problems in our individual lives or in our circumstances is because we live outside of the manual which the Creator has given to human beings to live life to the full. I always refer, manufacturers of products give manual. God created human beings and gave us manual, and the manual is the Bible. If only we can endeavor to live our life based on the Bible, we would overcome a lot of challenges that are depressing us, despairing some people, and even getting some people to an extent that they are so depressed and they think of committing suicide. Some don't just think, they actually go ahead and commit suicide because they think they can't carry on with their situations any longer. So in order for us to refresh and start life afresh, there is this saying that the end of a thing ushers in a new. If the job you've been doing is finished, whatever the cause, you don't need to start despairing. All you need to do is to talk to right professionals and listen to positive talks like this that have the capacity to influence you in a positive way, so that you can start endeavoring and trying to see how you can find a new ground to explore and find a new opportunity. It's not enough for you to start despairing, because these problems are part of life. So we have to find ways to tackle these problems so that we don't get drowned into depression or as far as committing suicide because we can't cope with life challenges any longer. In our website, we do a number of trainings. I like to kind of deviate a little bit to something that is relevant to this discussion about you and your work. Career change is something that scares people, because some people think they are so old, they've been doing a particular job for so many, many years, they can't do anything any different. So they think their end is come or has come. I was having a session in a career change training. I met a guy in the training, amongst many others, who has been very much into career delivery, but lost his job and he's been out of job for years. Kept looking out for opportunity to do exactly the same job he has always done, but none was coming. He thought age was not on his side, and he thought that the community he was looking in for job, there were not much opportunity, and he kept going forth and back, looking out for the exact same job he has done as a delivery driver. In that particular training, this is why it is important not to keep your problem to yourself. Look for opportunities to talk to professionals, and also look at other avenues to see what could be possible for you to do. In that particular training, because she was in the environment where I was delivering some training, as we got brainstorming, we got to know the different skills this guy have. We got to know what other things he could do, and then what other brief training that would take a matter of just few weeks. It could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. There are some that could be done in a matter of 3 days to a kind of upgrade his skills, because he's been out of work for so long. The short of the story is that this particular man realized that outside of delivery job, he could actually learn crane driving or forklift driving. So he took interest in forklift driving, and in essence, we discussed a few other things he needs to do so that he can transfer his driving skills, which he has built up all over the years, into going to learn forklift driving. That was an amazing outcome for him in that particular training. So what we do when we meet people who are stuck or who are out of job and they've been trying and nothing is forthcoming, we brainstorm, we have a chat, we discuss, and we find ways to support and help one another. So if you make out the time to come to our career change training or to register with us or even book a free consultation, when we have a chat with you, we will be able to see how we can work together to provide necessary support to help you progress in your job hunt or in your career change. So that's why I titled this talk, You and Your Work. This guy, as a matter of fact, ended up sourcing fund from some government training support, and he went ahead to do the forklift drivers training within a matter of a short period of weeks. And the guy completed it, and he had a prospect for job. That's an example. But all those years, the guy was out of job until he came to our training. He would have felt like life was not doing him any favor. In essence, who you talk to matters. How you think matters. So endeavor that in this time that coronavirus have thrown challenges to people in the area of work, which has knock-on effects in your income, your family welfare, your standard of living, all those things mount pressure on the family. But you can be relieved of that pressure if you talk to people in our position. You go to our website, www.smartgotraining.com. You can get in touch with us and see how we can work together. Because there's always opportunities, even when a particular channel of income fails. I did talk about God. I want to continue briefly on that. When you were created by God, you were created to have so much thinking capacity that you can think about things. You can think through situations. You can think and find ways to navigate your challenges or the mountains of life in front of you. So never restrict or limit yourself by keeping your situation to yourself. Talk to us. Talk to professionals around you. Talk to people who are willing to support and help you in your unemployment situation. Let me give you another example. There was a salesman, all right? This guy has been in sales all of his life. Well, his working life, that's what I mean. And he lost his job. Many years, he had cars, was driving everywhere, company car, was driving from country to country, across different states, making good living, good commission, but the job finished. He lost the job. This guy was devastated. And he never thought he could do anything different because he's so much into sales. He enjoys it. He enjoys talking to customers. He enjoys meeting their needs and seeing them so happy. When he came into our training feeling frustrated, he needed support and help to prepare for interviews and upgrade his CV and see how he can get back to work. When we had the training with this guy on that particular day, this guy realized there are other opportunities that he can explore. He likes to talk to people. He likes to meet people's needs. In his life, he has never done anything in the area of telesales, but he's somebody who can sell any product. From that training, that very day, we actually referred him to an organization that was hiring people in telesales. You know, something that has that little, just a little shift of mindset, a little shift of how you think can create a new opportunity even when you think all has come to an end. So that guy progressed from there. He went into a telecommunication organization that gives him opportunity to actually learn technical skills in the area of telephony, but on the aspect of sales, because he loves to talk to people. He knows how to sell. So he started with that, and then he gained training on the technical aspect of telephone technology. Can you imagine that? And that's how he got a new opportunity to start working in sales. But this time, not driving around everywhere, but this time sitting on a spot in a decent office on the phone, talking to people, finding out about their needs, and then selling the product to them, meeting their needs, all sitting on. This time he conserves more energy. This time he's relaxed, he's not running across traffic troubles and things. And this time he's learning new skills on the job, a different product line, and learning new skills, and now receiving income. These are the kind of things you need to be thinking about. A guy was a mechanic, he lost his job. He left mechanic and he went and learned forklift and other driving skills as well. This shift does not take years. There are some of these shifts in training that will take a matter of few days and some just few weeks. A guy was working in an office. He resigned the office to look after his parents who were elderly. After a few years, the parent died. This guy was jobless. He didn't have healthcare qualifications. So he went to a government support in his country, but he couldn't continue living because the income from that channel was so meager, it was not sustaining him and his family. When he came to our training, we got the opportunity to discuss with this guy to see where he was at. This guy ended up doing some days and few weeks training and acquired certificate in the area of healthcare. And so from the experience of working with his parents, taking care of them till they passed away, he has already built in some healthcare skills, which when he did the training became a plus to him, and he made up his CV showing that he has some experience already with his brand new qualification. And this guy got working in healthcare when he couldn't go back to the former office work he was doing before he retired. He resigned to look after his parents. So the point in all of this is that your work situation and you are in tandem. If your work is going well, it puts you in a happy state of mind. But if some negative experiences had happened to you regarding your work and you don't have a job any longer, it has negative effects. Especially the way you take it will determine the level of impact, because especially men and women alike, when you lose your job, it does not feel good. So what do you think you can do? If you think of what you can do, you get in touch with us, we would be able to see how we can work together to provide the necessary support. I'm just about rounding up here. Talking about God creating you, giving you multi-skills, multi-talent, and abilities. Until you discover those abilities within you, you may get stuck in one line of thinking that's all life is about. Talking about you and your work, what you do for a living. There are some people that work just to earn income. There are some people that work, they earn income and they are fulfilled. These are two different categories of people. I don't know what category you belong. I give you an example here. I make example to the book, the Manual of Life, the Bible, which I referred to earlier on. There is a book called the Book of Matthew in chapter 4, between verse 18 and verse 22. There is a story when Jesus, during his days on earth in Israel, he was walking beside the sea. He saw a man whose name was Peter. All right. When he saw Peter, he called him and his brother Andrew, and he said to them, "Oh, you guys are fishermen." Saying, "Listen, drop that and follow me." Excuse me? He said to them, "Drop your fishing business." Maybe people that have trawlers, you know, to be a fisherman, depending on the community you come from, it's a rewarding business. If there is a boom, if you are able to get fish every time you go fishing. That's what these guys have done all their lives. No education. They were fishermen. Jesus said, "Drop that and come with me," because they know him as somebody who loves people and that Jesus likes helping people. It boggled them, but they kind of said, "Okay, This guy that is so popular, this guy that loves people, loves to help people, he doesn't use people. He's saying we should leave what we're doing and follow him. And they dropped that and they followed him. Fishermen, remember. And Jesus said to them, he was going to make them fishers of men. Let me tell you what that means. People that are Christians, we see that as going around and evangelizing. But from work perspective, from professional career perspective, what Jesus did, he told them, you shouldn't be catching fishes from the sea. You follow me and become a motivational speaker. Did you get that? So this is a career change that happened in that very scene. It's not a fairy tale. It's not a parable. It's a reality that happened and is recorded in the manual of life. So even God has planned for you to transition and engage in career change if the need arises. So these uneducated fishermen, they followed Jesus, and from fishermen, they became motivational speakers because they followed Jesus. He taught them how to speak, to motivate people to know about God, to speak to people, to educate people about spiritual things of life. So they became motivational speakers. And after Jesus had died for the sins of the world and left, these guys got filled with the Spirit of God, and they were going around the communities, speaking and motivating people, teaching people about the spiritualities of life and about the physical experiences of life. And people started connecting with God through their motivational speaking. That is what you would call a revolutionized career change. From being a fisherman, not educated, to a motivational speaker, that is unheard of. But that's what happened. Read it in the book of Matthew chapter 4, verse 18 to 22. There is more to that story. And I will finish up with the last one here. There is a guy called Saul in the Bible. He was going around destroying people who were Christians because he belonged to a different religion. Okay? Now, when he encountered the Spirit of God in one of his journeys to go and persecute Christians, his name was changed from Saul to Paul. And when he had that experience with God, his career of murdering people changed. So from being a murderer, he became a man who now spoke for what he was against. That has to do with a change of perspective. So sometimes you and I need change of perspective, which has to do with your mindset. Because Paul, who was Saul, now Paul, he used to have a perspective, and he went around persecuting people, creating havoc in his community, even going as far as murdering people for his own perspective of life, his belief system. But when he met with God, his perspective changed. The people that he used to chase, to murder, to kill, he eventually became their friend, and he started helping them. And in essence, he started speaking for God instead of speaking against God. That was a change of perspective. In rounding up here, these examples, the physical experiences we have with people and the spiritual experiences bringing information from the Bible, balances up what we do, because that is the way we are meant to live. You can use your human capabilities, knowledge, strength, experience to attend to some challenges that you face. But when your man capabilities fail you, you can improvise, you can turn around to apply God's principles to guide you. Because when you get to your limits, God exceeds your limit. That's why it is relevant for us to understand the physical side of life and the spiritual perspectives of life. So when you merge these together, you will be in a position to make a well-informed decision. So I like to suggest that if you are in a situation where you need to talk to someone about you and your work situation, feel free to get in touch with us. Our website is there on the screen, as you can see it scrolling through. And when you get in touch with us, we will be able to chat with you and see how we can work together to help one another, to help you get back to work, to help you, have your ease and peace of mind. That is it. This is talking about you and your work. Remember, don't keep your problems to yourself. You're hunting for work, or you need a change of career. You are stuck in a situation and you don't know which way to go. You come to us. We do use some other technology to explore and access individuals. So there are many things we can do together, and you'll be so amazed you can still get back to work, even in this time that people are losing work. I want to say thank you for listening. You keep in touch with us, and we hope that we chat again in the near future to see how we continue to be of help one to another. Thank you. Jim Nelson here saying bye-bye, and thank you for listening.